You are not tired. You are undisciplined. And I know that sentence hurts because it sounds rude, it sounds unfair, it sounds too harsh. But the reason it hurts is because deep down, you already know it is true. Because real tiredness comes after real effort. And most people are not tired from doing too much. They are tired from avoiding what they should be doing every day and carrying the weight of that avoidance on their back like a silent burden. And the worst part is that nobody sees it. Nobody claps for the battles you lose in your mind. Nobody notices the promises you break to yourself. Every night, nobody hears the voice that tells you tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes, and you wake up feeling tired again, even though you did almost nothing. And that is the tiredness no one talks about. The tiredness of wasted potential. The tiredness of delayed dreams. The tiredness of knowing you could do more but choosing not to. And calling it rest. And I lived in that tiredness for a long time. I used to say I was exhausted. I used to say life was hard. I used to say I needed motivation, but the truth was I had energy for everything, except the things that mattered. I had energy for scrolling, for gossip, for comfort, for excuses, for movies, for sleep, for complaining. But when it was time to wake up early, to train my mind, to build my skill, to chase my purpose, suddenly I was tired. And I thought something was wrong with me until one day the truth hit me like a slap. I was not tired. I was undisciplined because discipline gives energy and laziness steals it, and every day I chose easy. I felt weaker, and every day I chose hard. Even when it hurt, I felt stronger. And the scary part is how discipline works. Quietly, at first, you do not feel the power immediately, you just feel the pain, the discomfort, the resistance, the part of you that wants to quit and go back to what feels good. But if you stay long enough, if you fight through the first wave, something changes. You wake up with more clarity, you move with more confidence, you speak with more weight. Your eyes look different. Your steps feel heavier on the ground, in a good way, and people start feeling your presence before you even say a word. And that version of you is not created by rest. It is created by standards. And standards hurt. At first, because standards force you to say no to the old you, and the old you will beg to stay. It will remind you of comfort. It will remind you of shortcuts. It will remind you of how easy it is to quit. And the dangerous thing about being undisciplined is that it feels normal. It feels like everyone else. It feels like you are not that bad because you still do a little here and a little there, and you compare yourself to those who do even less. And you feel fine for a while until the years pass and you look back and realize fine was never enough. And the life you wanted required a version of you that you refused to become. And the hardest truth is this: nobody fails by accident. People fail by daily decisions that look harmless in the moment. Sleeping in again. Skipping today again. Avoiding the hard task again. Pushing the dream. One more day into the future, and one day the future arrives and the dream is still where you left it, untouched, waiting. And that weight is what makes you feel tired. The weight of unfinished business. The weight of unrealized greatness. The weight of knowing that you settled, and settling drains your soul more than hard work ever could. And discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. Even when you feel weak, even when you feel bored, even when no one is watching, even when there is no reward yet, because discipline is a promise you keep to yourself. And every time you keep it, you build trust with the one person you cannot escape from you, And every time you break it, you teach yourself that your word does not mean much. And that is why confidence is at the low for so many people, because confidence is not born from hype. It is born from kept promises, and every kept promise adds a brick to your self-respect. And every broken promise removes one. And many people walk around feeling empty, not because they lack love or support, but because they do not trust themselves anymore. And they do not even know when it happened. It happened the day they chose easy over right and kept choosing it until it became who they are. And the moment you decide to become disciplined, your life does not instantly become easy. In fact, it becomes harder, but your mind becomes stronger, and that is the trade. Comfort weakens the mind. Discipline sharpens it. And the reason discipline feels painful at first is because it is killing the version of you that loves comfort. And that version will not die. Quietly, it will fight for control. It will whisper excuses. It will create fear. It will remind you of every past failure. It will tell you that you are different, that discipline works for others, but not for you. And that is a lie, because discipline does not care about your past. It only responds to your actions, and the moment you start showing up even with small effort, your brain begins to change, your identity begins to shift, and your future begins to bend in a new direction. And the secret nobody tells you is that discipline gives freedom, not instantly, but eventually the undisciplined life feels free. At first, you can sleep anytime, eat anything, waste time, do what you like, but later that freedom becomes a prison. You cannot escape debt, regret, poor health, low confidence, wasted years. But the disciplined life feels like a prison at first. Waking up early, training when tired, saying no to pleasure. But later that prison becomes a kingdom of choice, strength, control, confidence, options, power. And the reason so many people stay tired is because they choose the short-term freedom that leads to long-term suffering instead of the short-term suffering that leads to long-term freedom. And once you understand that your entire mindset changes because you stop asking, how do I feel? And you start asking, who do I want to become? And those two questions lead to completely different lives. The disciplined person does not wait to feel ready. They move. And readiness follows. The undisciplined person waits for motivation, and motivation never shows up consistently, and that is why their life feels like a loop. The same year, repeating with different dates. And the saddest part is that most people will never realize they were not tired. They were just avoiding the work that would have made them proud. And nothing hurts more than looking back and realizing you had the time. You had the chance, you had the ability, but you lacked the discipline. And now you carry that weight silently and smile in public and struggle in private and tell people you are just tired, and maybe you are physically tired. Sometimes that is human, but most of your exhaustion comes from fighting the truth inside you. The truth that you are meant for more, and you know it. And every day you delay becoming that version of you. The conflict grows louder, and the louder it grows, the more tired you feel, and that is why rest without discipline never restores you. It only numbs you for a moment, and then the tiredness returns deeper than before. But rest after discipline feels different. It feels clean, it feels earned, it feels peaceful because your mind is quiet when your actions match your goals, and that is the life most people secretly want. Not just money, not just success, but peace with themselves. The peace of knowing that today They did not betray their future, and that peace is built one disciplined decision at a time. And the truth is, nobody is coming to save you from being undisciplined. Nobody is coming to force you to wake up. Nobody is coming to build your body, your skill, your dream, your future for you. And that can feel scary until you realize. It also means nobody can stop you once you decide to stop lying to yourself and start holding yourself to a higher standard. And the moment you do that, the excuse of being tired loses its power because you realize tired is just a feeling and discipline is a choice, and feelings change. But choices shape lives. And every great person you admire felt tired too. They felt doubt too. They felt fear too. The difference is they did not obey it. They moved with it. They carried it. They acted in spite of it. And that is why their life looks different now. And yours can look different too. Not because of luck, not because of miracles, but because of daily discipline that nobody claps for. And the final truth is this: the tired version of you will always exist. It will always show up on hard days, on lonely days, on stressful days, but so will the disciplined version of you, and the one that wins will be the one you listen to in the moment, when it matters most. Not when everything is easy, but when quitting feels justified. And if after this ends, you say this was nice and go back to the same habits, then nothing changes. But if you stand up and do one hard thing immediately, one thing you have been avoiding, then the shift begins, and that shift may feel small today, but 1 year from now, it will feel like a completely different life. And one day, you will look back at this version of yourself and realize you were never tired. You were simply one disciplined decision away from becoming the person you were always meant to be.